Fox, presented by Sprint. A beautiful day by the Bay as the defending world champion San Francisco Giants take on interleague rivals, the Cleveland Indians. And hello, everybody. Welcome to the booth. I am Jose Mota, and we know that the Giants and the Indians have very good pitching. That's why they are where they are right now in the standings. As I introduce former All-Star closer Mitch Williams, you think there's going to be more to be done, especially from the offensive side?
Absolutely. As you said, Jose, both these clubs pitch and pitch well. They both have strong bullpens. Their starting rotations are strong. But at some point, the offenses are going to have to contribute more if they expect to take these teams into the postseason.
These two teams, as always, played a tied one last night as Cleveland tries to even it up. The Giants, the Panda and company with the great pitching will try to stop that. Stay tuned. All the action coming up next on Fox. Sold out 45 consecutive days here in Giants territory. And today's starting lineup for the Indians brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Michael Brantley followed by Phelps. As Dribble Cabrera, a hot hitter. Carlos Santana, the youngster, is behind the plate today. Brady Sizemore moves up to the middle of the lineup. Needs some punch in the middle. Orlando Cabrera, another start at third base for him. It's something new. Jack Hanahan in his good hands at first base batting seventh. Austin Kearns in right field with a good arm. And batting ninth is Justin Masterson on the mound for the Tribe. This opening pitch is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds. As we welcome you back, here's Matt Cain, a durable pitcher, a guy that knows how to get it done. Mitchell, there's no doubt his stuff is plus.
Everything he has is plus. His fastball is plus. His breaking ball is plus. He's got a plus changeup. The only thing that isn't plus is his run support. He is not a guy that gets a lot of run support. My scouting report on him contained as Dribble Cabrera. What I mean by that, do not let him beat you. Use all your pitches. Control their bat speeds. and they need innings out of him. If he can get him into the 7th or 8th inning and hand the ball off to that devastating bullpen, the Giants have a chance.
Hard hit ball up the middle, base hit, so a good start for Michael Brantley at the top of that Tribe lineup. And the Indians only 2 hits last night. They're after a nice start here.
Didn't even get a chance to get the scouting report out, and they got a knock. And as we look here, he's looking to go on the outer third, and he made a pretty good pitch, and Brantley did what he was supposed to, try to go back up the middle with it.
Cain comes in against Court Phelps, playing second base, batting second. He takes a fastball in the outer half, strike one.
In this ballpark, you're going to see a lot of right-handed pitchers attack left-handers on the outer third because it's hard to hit the ball out of the opposite field in this ballpark.
Challenging ballpark. Here's the next one, and it's 0-2 now to Phelps quickly. Phelps came over from the minor leagues, and that prompted the shift of Orlando Cabrera to third base. And so far, so good for the youngster, who is also returning to this area. Very familiar for him. He fouls it off to the left side, so he stays alive 0-2. Cain going upstairs with him.
And one thing this Giants starting rotation is very good at, as we saw the other day in Lincecum, when they get ahead of you, you are going to have to swing at their pitches. They are not going to put balls in the middle of the plate.
Quick throw over as Brantley makes it safe. He has stolen 9 bases in 12 attempts. And one thing, Mitch, about Matt Cain, he has allowed 11 stolen bases this season. No caught stealings.
And I wouldn't concern myself too much with that. I really wouldn't, because the guy has such good stuff.
Hard hit ball, left center field. Attempting dive by Torres, cannot come up with it. Nice assist there by left fielder Cordy Ross as the Indians have first and second, nobody out, right from the get-go.
And this right here is what I was just speaking of, being ahead in the count 0-2, makes a mistake with his fastball in the middle of the plate, and it's driven into left center.
Nice effort there by Torres as their most dangerous hitter comes up as Dribble Cabrera.
This is the situation Matt Cain did not want to find himself in this first inning. 2 on, nobody out, with a very hot hitter at the plate.
Goes to the breaking ball, and Cabrera unable to check his swing. 0-1, what a year he's had. Consider, as Dribble Cabrera, with runners in scoring position, that's off the charts, 4.03 average.
Well, the Indians as a whole, I believe, lead the major leagues in hitting with runners in scoring position at 275. This team puts the ball in play and gets hits with runners in scoring position.
Manny Acta with his new hitting coach Bruce Fields out there in the dugout. A quick 0-2. Down and in, nice block by Stewart.
Very good job with an 0-2 pitch right there. A breaking ball in the dirt. He's got to trust his catcher that he's going to get over and block that. As we look right here, you see the catcher set up. He knows that he's called for a breaking ball, and anytime you call for a breaking ball and 0-2 count, you have to expect it in the dirt.
So for an offense has been limited, Cabrera at the right spot. He just misses inside on that one.
Really good fastball. He froze Cabrera, and that's exactly what he wanted to do. That's a 2-seamer that ran back over the inside part of the plate. Very good pitch.
First and second for the Indians. Nobody out. He got him looking. Not in agreement as Cabrera, but that was a nice pitch outside, so there's one out.
And we're going to look at this pitch sequence, and he's a tremendous hot hitter right now. Cain starts him with a breaking ball, gets him to check swing, then he goes to a changeup for a called strike. And now Matt Cain has him where he wants him. Bounces a curveball, doesn't get the call on the fastball in, goes right back to the fastball on the outer third and freezes him. A tremendous job of pitching right there by Matt Cain.
Cain 2 and 4 seam fastball, 90-93 slider, curveball and change. And so far his breaking ball last 3 or 4 starts has been the key for him. Young catcher Carlos Santana takes inside, so there's that curveball again.
Well, over his last 4 starts, Matt Cain's 3-0 with a low 2 ERA, so he's been throwing the ball extremely well.
1 out now. And the switch hitting Santana waits. He continues to look at the breaking ball. And this is 2-0.
Yeah, it's a situation, Jose, where now he's put himself in a hitter's count with a young hitter up there. I would be really surprised if Cain threw him another fastball here. I would think he would stick with something off speed, hoping to get him on his front foot.
Looking for that ground ball double play.
There's the changeup right there.
Nice pitch. So Cain has made it no secret. He will go to the off speed, and he has been throwing it 4 strikes or missing near the plate. Way in on Santana to back him off, and now is a 3-1 count.
Again, a triple count as far as a pitcher is concerned. He's not going to lay something over the middle of the plate this early in the game. He's going to take his chance. It wouldn't surprise me to see him go right back to that changeup and hopefully get him to roll over on it and get that ground ball he needs.
Line shot, it is foul down the right side. Here's a look at the Giants defense brought to you by Scott's.
Cody Ross out there in left field. Andres Torres in center field. Nate Sherholz in right. Aubrey at first. Emmanuel Burris at second. Miguel Tejada at short. The Panda over at third. Chris Stewart behind the plate. And Matt Cain on the mound.
Chris Stewart has been clutch for the Giants behind the plate since his recall defensively.
Bochy, in our meeting today with him, said an extremely strong arm, strong kid.
Here comes a 3-2 from Cain to Santana. Got him.
And that right there is just a low 4-seam blown by you fastball.
You talk about turning it up a notch. Watch this.
There was no 2-seam movement there. That was just a riding 4-seam fastball. And you see Matt Cain's delivery. The one thing that makes this guy so durable is his mechanics. He stays behind his head. He gets to his backside and throws the ball downhill.
Baffled is Carlos Santana. And the Indians do need some production up the middle. That's why Grady Sizemore has been moved down. His average a low 229, 7 home runs, and 20 RBIs for Grady, but he inherits a fine situation here offensively for the Tribe.
And the Indians haven't played the pull in the infield.
There it is. He pulls it. It'll be Aubrey Huff. And Cain pitches himself out of trouble as Cleveland leaps to a board. We'll be back as the Giants come to bat on Fox. Position just in the first inning as Matt Cain limits them. And today's starting lineup for the Giants is brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Andres Torres, followed by Burns and Sandoval. Huff, Ross, Shearholtz with a lefty. Bat in there. Miguel Tejada at short. Chris Stewart, the catcher, and Matt Cain is batting ninth. Let's take a look at Justin Masterson. He is looking to win for the first time since April 26th.
And you look at these numbers. He started off 5-0, as hot as any pitcher in baseball. In his last 5 starts, left-handers are hitting .348 against him. That's going to be his bugaboo. He's got to keep them under control.
Andres Torres takes strike 1 from Justin Masterson, born in Kingston, Jamaica.
And when we look at the scouting report, look out for lefties. That means he's got to make good pitches to left-handers because they have been hitting him hard lately. The other thing he's got to do for his right-handers, use the big part of the park. That means pitch him on the outer third of the plate. Let him hit it to that big right center field and keep the ball in the air and elevate his fastball when he's ahead in the count, because these Giants hitters love to swing the bat.
On the 0-2, Torres swings the bat and grounds out to Hanahan for out number 1. Well, you talk about that gap in right center field. I mean, 421 feet. Could also work to your advantage if you're a good gap-to-gap hitter.
It can. It really can. But if he can keep the ball elevated on the outer third to these right-handers, a lot of times hitters will elevate that into the outfield and just hit routine fly balls out there. Now, if he keeps it down, that gives the hitter the opportunity to shoot it into that gap.
Here's Emmanuel Burns, who takes outside. He shows bunt. He's got good speed. And, of course, he's going to want to test the third baseman for the Indians. It's Orlando Cabrera.
Well, he's facing 4 left-handers to start this off. 3 of them are switch hitters, and then Aubrey.
For Orlando Cabrera, his 3rd start at third base. Right to the box as Masterson feels positioned well, and there's 2 down.
They say pitchers have no athletic ability.
Now here's a look at the Indians defense, brought to you by Scott's.
Look out in left field. We see young Michael Brantley. Grady Sizemore, good to see him back healthy. Austin Kearns, a veteran, in right. Jack Hanahan at first. Cord Phelps at second. As Drupal Cabrera, the human highlight film, at short. Orlando Cabrera over at third. Carlos Santana, the young stud, behind the plate. And on the mound, Justin Masterson looking to get a W.
And you're not kidding about Drupal Cabrera. As a Panda takes the first pitch for a strike for Masterson. Nice running fastball there.
And you see the velocity that Justin Masterson has. That's a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
A little late on that one. Is 0-2.
And
so both pitchers, Mitch, right now finding a way to get ahead early in count.
And that's the key to pitching. And if you can get ahead, then you force the hitter to have to go outside the zone to protect. He's got an 0-2 count, and this is where I say he's got to elevate his fastball. If he can throw it down the middle, right at Santana's helmet, up.
That's ouch.
Yeah, that's a broken bat. I mean, Band-Aid going to be needed to fix that one.
You love those into.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to break every bat they owned. The problem was I didn't throw it around the plate enough to do it.
There's new wood for Pablo Sandoval. And Sandoval, in what is a very tough hitter's ballpark, hits .338 career here.
Now that pitch right there, that would have been perfect if it had been middle of the plate and up. A hitter can recognize away, he can recognize in. If it's in the middle, he's got to get it started. Like that.
Got him. So Masterson, masterful on the mound in that very first inning. We're scoreless after 1 here on Fox. Down goes the Panda. sponsored by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And it'll be Orlando Cabrera, Jack Hanahan, and Austin Kearns for Manny Acta in the Indians. Currently in first place in the American League Central. Here's OC. He fouls it back. 0-1 for Cabrera.
At 88 miles an hour, I got to believe that's Matt Cain's cutter. A good way to attack Orlando Cabrera, staying outer third on him.
Hits it off the end of the bat to the shortstop. Tejada goes back. He makes a long throw and got him. And we'd like to now bring in Ken Rosenthal. And a big injury last night, Ken, for the Indians. Shinso is out. What is next?
Yes, Chu will be out a minimum of 6 weeks with a fractured left thumb. More if he needs surgery, Jose, and that appears likely. Now, the Indians were hoping to get his replacement, Travis Buck, here in time for today's game. Another left-handed hitter against Matt Cain. But Buck's flight from Columbus was delayed. They're hoping he gets here sometime during the game.
Stuff is 10 of Chu's 28 RBIs have tied or given the Indians a lead. He'll be missed. And certainly one that you want to avoid. Take a look at this.
And that is not pretty. Hit right on that top hand thumb.
And the blood was flowing continuously. They had to cut through his batting glove, as you can see there. And that is a huge blow to that lineup. Hanahan hits it to the right side. As Burris stays busy. 2 down. And here are today's 4 keys to the game.
For me, the Indians have got to keep this game close to give Hafner a chance to affect the game late. He's their best power hitter, their best average hitter, but it's a National League park. They've got no place to play him. And then the Giants, they've got to get big base hits with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Austin Kearns takes outside. Kearns struggling, hitting only 198. Still looking for that first home run, a couple of RBIs. He fouls it back. We've seen a lot of these swings where people think they're right on it, but what's happening?
Absolutely. And young pitchers will see this and think that because Austin Kearns fouled this ball straight back, that he's on it. Well, he's not on it. He's late. Anytime a hitter fouls the ball straight back, he's late. And they're going right back inside. Really good pitch there by Cain, just off the plate inside.
And here's a guy that is not used to hitting 8th, but no doubt, I mean, between Kearns and Santana, Asdrubal, there should be some offense for Manny Acta to go to, even without Travis Hafner. We talk about Hafner, he's hitting 500 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, and it's a big ball. This stretch that they've got of 9 National League ballparks in a row in interleague play, it really affects this Indians club because of how well Hafner has started.
Short center field, nudge running catch by Torres. Down go the Tribe, 1-2-3. We'll be back on Fox Scoreless.
Go get him, boys. Go get him. Muy feo, coño. No, bueno.
Sprint is sponsored by Select 55. The superior taste makes it Select. The 55 calories makes it the lightest beer in the world. No score as we move on to the bottom of the second inning here in San Francisco. Justin Masterson had a 1-2-3 inning, quickly getting rid of Torres, Burris, and Sandoval in the first inning for the Giants. Look at that, Mitch. That's how we're going to send you back to Jersey.
Yeah, you don't want to be putting me on a sailboat. And who is Aubrey kidding trying to drag bunt?
You know what? Anything to get your offense started. Aubrey Huff hitting 244, 8 home runs, 38 RBI. You think not? They need some runners.
Yeah, they need some runners, but Aubrey needs to look for something he can hit out there in the water.
There's a great connection between Aubrey Huff and the Giants' success scoring runs. And he takes outside.
And that's a really good idea right there by Justin Masterson to try and backdoor that breaking ball and get a strike without a swing.
Gets under that one. Yes, Cabrera chases LB out of play.
And now Masterson has put himself in a position right here to walk the ladder. He got him to swing at that ball ladder high. Again, if he can elevate this fastball in the middle of the plate, I don't think Aubrey Huff can lay off it.
Taps it. Masterson stays busy himself, and there's one out. As we look at the defense and how much Justin Masterson needs some of that with that sinker, let's go down to Ken Rosenthal and talk about some of the changes implemented today.
Yeah, Jose, interesting lineup today. Jack Hanahan at first base. And the reason that the Indians did that was not because Santana had a rough game at first last night. They do want their best infield defense on the field behind the sinker balling Masterson. But at the same time, Lou Marson, their other catcher, hits only 161 against right-handed pitching. Therefore, Santana is the better offensive option behind the plate.
Great stuff, Kenny. And there's one thing to consider. This is a great ballpark to pitch to contact, Mitch.
Absolutely. If you can keep the ball down in this ballpark, you've got a chance, as long as it's hit at somebody. I always say about pitch to contact guys, it's great if the balls that are being put in play are headed at someone holding a glove.
Cody Ross a 2-0 count. He takes strike one. Cody Ross, even though hitting 265, 6 home runs and 23 RBIs, has picked it up in the month of June, hitting 297.
Cody's one of my favorite people in the game. Always got a smile on his face. And it's tough to pull the trigger on a 95-mile-an-hour sinker on the black outside.
Talk about running it off the plate into the corner. There was a great example there. Now 2-2. Try the same pitch. He fouls it off, stays alive.
Well, in that situation, Cody Ross has got to protect against it. It's probably a ball, but he can't take that chance because Bob Davidson called it a strike the pitch before.
Cody Ross, talk about becoming an instant hero. What he did for this ball club in postseason and enjoying it. That was the best part about it. It was like no pressure for him.
That's why I say he's one of my favorite people, because he's always got a smile on his face, and he understands that you're a grown man playing a little kid's game, getting paid to do it. How can you not have a smile on your face?
Then when the trade was made for Cody Ross, everybody was expecting that big name, and many people were disappointed, saying, "You got Cody Ross?" Well, he turned a lot of minds around quickly.
He absolutely did. I mean, outstanding in the postseason. Hit some big home runs off some very good pitchers in Philly.
He stays alive.
And there you go. There's one. I believe that one's off Halladay.
With 294, 5 home runs, and 10 RBI in the 2010 postseason. Named the National League Championship Series Most Valuable Player. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Well, guys, my favorite Cody Ross story, when he left the Marlins on a waiver claim last August. He wasn't happy about it, and he told the Marlins people, "You guys are making a mistake." He was proven right.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt. Here's a 3-2. What a good at-bat right there. That is a professional at-bat by Cody Ross.
And we have our first base runner for the Giants today.
Masterson on the road. 2 wins, 3 losses, 3.03 ERA. 1 home run allowed in 38 2/3 innings on the road. And by the way, for Masterson, he has allowed only 3 home runs all year.
Well, he's a guy that when he's on, I mean, you look at his numbers, his win-loss record is not indicative of the way he's pitched. He's got a very low 3 ERA. So the losing streak that he's on right now is not indicative of the way he's pitched at all.
The Giants trail the Diamondbacks by a half a game in the National League West. Here's this ball hit hard, right field. It'll find the wall. Ross around second. Shearholz on his way to second, and Ross will end up at third as Shearholz continues a trend against Justin Masterson, which is left-handed hitters hitting over 300 against him.
And that right there, that pitch right there is the portion of the plate against left-handers that Justin Masterson has got to stay out of. His sinker starting on the inner third and running back over the middle. This is what happens to him, and that's why left-handers hit him so well, because he does have such movement, but it's kind of flat movement. It doesn't have a sinking movement to it.
Miguel Tejada with the infield playing back. Takes a fastball outside and outer half, strike 1. Here's a thing in which baseball is putting more emphasis on: good situational hitting.
And Miguel Tejada is one of those guys that is a very good situational hitter. He's going to look to hit something to the right side here. You can see him. I mean, that's a terrible swing, but it was a terrible swing because he's trying to inside out it.
Which leads me to, if you're trying to get something outside, is it all about pitch selection?
Absolutely. I think as a pitcher in this situation, I'm trying to do one thing. I'm trying to strike him out. Now, Masterson's got an 0-2 count on him. What that tells me as a pitcher is I have got 4 opportunities to get him to chase a ball and strike him out. He needs a strikeout here to leave these runners on second and third.
Here's the 0-2. And still a very defensive swing by Miguel Tejada. Of course, we're used to a Tejada that has hit as many as 34 home runs in a season.
And this right here, Jose, is one of those spots where I believe if he can elevate his fastball, mask high on the catcher, he can get Tejada to chase it and keep the ball out of the dirt, risking a wild pitch.
Goes upstairs. Santana wants some help. No swing, says first base umpire Hunter Wendelstedt. A 1-2 count for the former American League MVP and 6-time All-Star Miguel Tejada batting 7th for the Giants. And Bruce Bochy knows with his pitching staff and that bullpen, a run early is huge. And he got him swinging. He just never looked comfortable. Good job by Masterson.
No, he didn't look comfortable because, as I said, he was trying to hit the ball to the right side throughout that entire at bat.
And the umpires for today: Bob Davidson, veteran, behind the plate; Hunter Wendelstedt at first; Brian Knight at second base; and Jerry Lane at third.
I loved it in our meeting today with him. I walked in the door and Bob called a balk on me as soon as I walked through the umpire's door.
Did not even allow you to get in, as we see some strategy here put on by Manny Acta. Wide pitch to the catcher Stewart with first base open. And for the Indians, National League rules, National League ballpark, all prepared for this from the get-go. So they're going to take their chances with Matt Cain.
Matt Cain's only hitting 100 on the year, but I'm going to tell you right now, a swinging bat is a dangerous bat, and Matt Cain is athletic.
Well, here it is. He can help his own cause. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs here for the Giants. Orlando Cabrera, third baseman, in with Carlos Santana. Talking to Justin Masterson. As Mitch mentioned, so far this season, Matt Cain is 3 for 30. He does have a couple of RBI, though.
Yeah, and RBIs are important, and he's got a big shot at picking up 1 or 2 here. You don't surrender because you're a pitcher and you're not supposed to be able to hit.
Strike 1. That was a lot of movement on that pitch.
Well, and as a pitcher, facing this arm angle that Masterson has, being a right-handed pitcher, it's not real easy to hang in there.
Quickly 0-2.
What I'm trying to say is Matt's heart's in it, but his behind isn't.
You see the defense, how they're taking it away from him, especially in the outfield.
Wow.
Strike 3, a late call by Davison, but they got him, and they wasted no time in getting Cain. We will return to San Francisco after a break from your local Fox station. Fox, Jose Mota alongside Mitch Williams as Matt Cain delivers to his counterpart, and there's strike 1. Well, Mitch, Masterson made no secret. He came right after Matt Cain.
And I'm pretty sure that's what Matt Cain's going to do right back.
Oh, watch this. Right at somebody. That is just not fair.
That ball's hit hard. And like I said, a swinging bat is dangerous.
Are you kidding me? You make contact like that after being an American League pitcher, and
hey, I took pride in hitting. I used to go out and take extra BP all the time. I only got to the plate 16 times in my career, but I wasn't going up there taking anything.
Extra BP. Closer.
Yep. And it paid off.
Here's Michael Brantley. It certainly paid off for him when he singled up the middle. There's Masterson back. And all American League managers want their pitchers to do under these circumstances: don't get hurt.
Yeah. Exactly, and you're not going to get hurt swinging the bat. I mean, they're athletic. Too many people think pitchers aren't athletes, and I've run across pitchers that aren't athletes, but there's a lot of them that are.
Bradley swings and misses. Good off speed by Cain, 1-2.
And that's back-to-back changeups right there.
Bradley, a talented young hitter, makes great use of the gaps. Good line drive hitter. Left center field gap. Torres is calling for it. He's got it. This July, baseball's biggest stars will gather together in the Arizona desert for one spectacular night. In the summer's biggest event, as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 MLB All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th, live from Arizona, from Phoenix at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox. And don't forget, you can see a special world premiere sneak preview of the upcoming Fox show, The X Factor, during the broadcast. Well, will be again another spectacular All-Star game, and the balls will be flying in Phoenix.
Absolutely. There's going to be some guys in that ballpark that make it look extremely small, which it plays small anyway. Ahead in the count, 0-2 here.
Somebody you can relate to. Who was that? Let's see.
I missed that.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. Brian Wilson, he is a closer extraordinaire. If you were going to look it up in the dictionary, his picture ought to be next to the word closer.
Protecting home plate is Cord Phelps. He's 1 for 1. Well, and how about the freak? He is finally on a nice roll for them.
He threw the ball unbelievable in his last start.
How about that?
12 punch outs, all of them swinging.
Good recognition there by that breaking ball by Phelps.
Very good job of Stewart getting over and keeping it in front.
Thursday against Minnesota, you're talking about 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, and 12 punch outs for Tim Lincecum.
And when he gets hot, he can carry a team as a starting pitcher.
Hit hard, first base side. Nice play by Huff. He scoops it out, steps in the bag. Another 1-2-3 inning for Matt Cain. Scoreless in San Francisco. is leading off here for the Giants. It'll be Torres, Burris, and Sandoval. Hits it hard. Look out, Roberto Kelly. How about last night? He needed this right here, and the Giants needed it too, Mitch.
Yeah, he's a guy that's got to get him jump started and do whatever he can to get on base. And then here he's showing a little bit of pop, hitting a bomb later on in the game. Ooh, Masterson moved his feet a little bit on that one.
I'll get off the play. Torres, surprisingly, 16 home runs last season and 26 stolen bases. He's one that they need on base. And there's times when he could get a little tall with that swing sometimes, which gets him into trouble.
And as a leadoff hitter, you don't typically there. I mean, there aren't many Ricky Hendersons that ever come into this game that hit with power and have that kind of speed. And Torres is a guy that has to look to put the ball in play.
Okay, how about for a sac fly? This is why you need speed on your team. You want to know why, Mitch? Watch this. How far does that ball go?
It may be 150 feet. And
look at that.
The bad part about that is if the third baseman, Hanrahan, gives way to Shelley Duncan, the left fielder there, I don't think, because Duncan's coming in on the ball, that Torres can tag and score on that play.
Former track star, that's why he made it. I want to give him credit. Don't take credit away from the runner.
Yeah, no, speed kills. There's no question about that. I was a former track star too. I used to carry the discus and shot puts out for everybody.
Well, that made you a star because your team performed well. As Burris hits it hard to the shortstop, there's Asdrubal Cabrera, a fine fielder, slick, and there's 2 down.
We're going to look at what I'm talking about elevating the ball in the zone. We see right here that fastball up and away. Hitters can read away, they can read in, but if you elevate in the middle, they have to honor it and go after it, and Masterson has enough on his fastball, they cannot get to that pitch.
So far, Masterson 5 ground ball outs, and that's what he does when he's at his best. 67% ground balls coming into this ball game as he delivers to Pablo Sandoval. Fouls it back. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Well, Jose, Pablo Sandoval, of course, coming off that fractured right hand. He has hit safely in 9 of his 10 games since his return, but he has yet to produce an extra base hit. He told me yesterday the hand still feels weak, but it's getting stronger every day.
And they need him to be strong as he swings and misses, Ken. You know, he's a guy that brings so much to this franchise and to this ballpark, and he means so much to the fans. There's a pitch thrown inside to get him off the plate last night where he took offense on the pitch by Carrasco, and the fans started booing Carrasco immediately.
Well, Panda is a fan favorite, and he's great for our game. Again, another guy that has a smile on his face. Last year was a bad year for him. His weight kind of got away from him. He obviously rededicated himself to physical training this winter and came back in great shape. And it got off to a great start, and then the broken hand. So, as he said, as Kenny said, it still feels a little bit weak to him. But once he gets that hand strength back, I look for him to continue what he started early in the year.
And who needs him more than his manager, Bruce Bochy, in the middle of that lineup without Buster Posey? Can't talk enough about how much Buster Posey means to this ball club.
Both behind the plate and at the plate with his bat. Tremendous young player.
3-2 to Pablo. Rolls over. He'll find the hole. They'll base hit. There's something to be said about Sandoval when he's going good because he is so strong that you get balls like that through the hole. It's not easy.
Yeah, and you look at that, and that's a ball that's up, not up enough, because Sandoval's able to get on top of this ball and drive it through the hole between first and second.
A .338 career average here in this ballpark, where many do not like to hit.
This is where Masterson has to be careful.
Another one through the right side. Is Pablo going? Look at the Panda go. How can you not love it? A single for Huff, first and third for the Giants as they threaten again here in 2 consecutive innings. They've done it against Masterson. Go.
You look at Pan to turn on the Jets right here. This is a different guy from last year. He's trimmed way down, gotten himself in great shape, running well. And like I said, once he gets all his strength back in his hands, I think we're going to see the player we saw 2 years ago.
Well, one player they want to see has come through right now is Cody Ross. Breaking ball outside. So Masterson made 28 pitches and pitched out of a jam in the second inning. There's Ross in a 268 average of men in scoring position. Also trying to get the Giants on the board.
And this is what has been killing the Giants, hitting with runners in scoring position and 2 outs.
He runs that fastball right to the corner. 1-1. You're not kidding. They came into this game hitting under 200 with men in scoring position and 2 outs. And overall, as a club, the Giants 221, which makes it even more remarkable that they're a half a game out in the West. Off the end of the bat, as Dribble is under it, all by himself, makes a catch. 2 more runners are stranded. As Cabrera will be leading off for the Indians. We'll be back on Fox. By Ford, drive one, and by AT&T, rethink possible. Another gorgeous day here in San Francisco. No score, 2 hits for the Indians, 3 hits for the Giants. Is the Cleveland Indians, and their pitching has been so solid. We're bringing in 9-game winner Josh Tomlin to join us here in the broadcast. Josh, thank you for joining us so far. What do you think about interleague baseball in the National League ballparks?
It's been fun so far. It's exciting to go out there and see our pitchers get out there and swing the bat a little bit, and it's been pretty fun for us.
Josh, it's Mitch. Are you looking forward to getting up there and swinging the bat, buddy?
I'm looking forward to it. That's definitely not my first priority on the list when I start, but it'll be fun to get out there and see what professional pitchers are like.
As Dribble Cabrera with a 1-2 count. Cabrera struck out looking with 2 men aboard in the first inning.
Josh, you're off to a 9-4 start. What has been the secret to your success so far early this year?
I think for me it's just being able to go out there and throw strikes, try to get ahead of hitters, put them in pitchers' counts, and just try to get early contact and not trying to do too much with the baseball.
Well, you've done a pretty doggone good job of that.
Down goes Cabrera once again, this time with the off speed, and there's one out, third strikeout for Matt Cain. Josh, as you watch a guy like Matt Cain, you know he's gone through the postseason and the fire and everything he's done in his career at a young age. Is there anything to pick up of somebody like this?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that's fun to watch. You know, he's a guy that spots his fastball well, throws his off-speed pitches for strike, and you know, tries to keep hitters off balance. It's fun to watch.
He moves it around on Carlos Santana, another strikeout victim in the first inning. He's down 0-1. No score here in San Francisco. Matt Cain looking for win number 7. Swing and miss. This bounces off Chris Stewart's glove.
And Josh, you had, how much time did you have up last year? You had 6 wins last year, I believe. So you're off to a pretty doggone good start in your career. Yeah, and you're making it look pretty simple. You don't have overpowering stuff, so it's a testament to how you pitch. What do you think about, I mean, were you ever overwhelmed by the big leagues at all when you first came up?
I mean, yeah, it was definitely different. The game's a lot faster up here than it was in the minor leagues for sure. But I've always been taught in the minor leagues, and you know, I've spent my fair share down there. And you know, every pitching coach always tells me be able to slow the game down a little bit and don't let it get a hand on you too much in a hurry. And I'm kind of taking that with me since I've got here, and I've been fortunate so far.
Just missing inside is Matt Cain on Carlos Santana. Talk about your young catcher. I know you give him a lot of credit for your success also in Carlos Santana.
Yeah, I mean, I've played with Santana for a couple of years now, and he's caught me a lot. And he kind of knows me, and I know kind of what his plan is, and we've been on the same page for, you know, a couple of years now, so it's fun to have him back there.
1-2 count for Carlos. Will be followed by Grady Sizemore. Josh Tomlin, 9-game winner for the Indians, joining us here on Fox.
Josh, I think pretty much around the country, you guys have jumped out and surprised, especially us experts that try and prognosticate and pick who's going to do what. I don't think there's any of us that thought your team would be where it's at right now.
Yeah, I mean, not too many people did. I think we had that mentality coming into spring training that we wanted to compete and we wanted to go out there. And, you know, we had a lot of young guys last year, including myself, and we didn't want to use that excuse anymore. We want to come out here and play baseball like we know how to play and you know, try to prove everybody wrong.
Carlos Santana goes down for the second consecutive at bat. So 4 strikeouts for Cain, both as customers, Cabrera as Drupal and Carlos Santana, both with 2. Sizemore takes outside. So tell me about this bunch. What is so special and not giving in to the pressure that came, especially at the beginning of June?
I think it's just unity. You know, everybody's trying to not pressing right now. We know it's a long season. We got out to a hot start, and everybody goes through those skids where you lose a couple games, and you know, you try to limit the damage as much as you can and go out there and try to compete every time and try to give your team a chance to win every single day. And I feel like, you know, so far we've been in a lot of ball games, and I think we're just playing good baseball.
Thank you very much, and I know it sounds good. Cleveland Indians first place. We thank Josh for joining us here on Fox.
Josh, I hope you continue the success this year, buddy. Anybody from Texas, you know I'm rooting for.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Our thanks to Josh Tomlin. A 2-2 count now on Grady Sizemore. He was 0 for 1. Rolled over the first baseman with 2 men aboard in the first inning.
And it is really good to see Grady Sizemore back in a baseball uniform, healthy. That ball's not carrying.
Short liner. Wow. Misread by Tejada. Has to come in and dive and make the catch for out number 3. How about Miguel? Flashing some leather.
Ball's not carrying to left today.
Here against Justin Masterson. Shear holds a double down the right field line his first at bat. He's batting 6th for Bruce Bochy. It'll be Shearholz, Miguel Tejada, and Chris Stewart. And Bob Davidson is
chasing a bird.
Bit by a distracting bird.
He's going to throw the bird out of the game, I'm telling you.
Well, you say you got time. Oh, he called a balk on you already.
Yeah, I just walked in the office and got balked.
Never seen that.
And Masterson starts Shearholz off with a backdoor breaking ball. Didn't give him the opportunity to jump at first pitch fastball like he did last time.
Rolled outside again before that double. Shearholz, who has had some very clutch hits for the Giants this season. They've been in a 3-for-20 slump. Here's a 2-0. Right side. Hanahan has those good hands. He'll step on the bag, and there's one out.
And I'll tell you, that's a good job right there of getting him to chase a pitcher's pitch in a 2-0 count.
Here's Miguel Tejada, who struck out in a clutch moment in the second inning.
Well, guys, the Giants are really worried about shortstop. Miguel Tejada right here, lowest combined on-base slugging percentage in the National League. The rookie Brandon Crawford looks overmatched offensively. They've got Mike Fontenot coming back from a groin strain, but he can't play short every day. So you ask, what's the solution? A lot of fans would love Jose Reyes to be in the San Francisco uniform, but Reyes probably is too expensive for the Giants in both prospects and dollars. Perhaps a more likely target is on the other side of the field today. I'm talking about the Indians' third baseman, Orlando Cabrera. They've got some kids behind him. He is more expendable than he was at the start of the season, the kind of veteran that the Giants generally like.
Yes, they do. And Orlando Cabrera was telling me that, yes, he did have to go to a bigger glove at third base, but he's still trying to find that comfort zone out there.
Well, he's always been a very solid defender, but his bat has been what has landed him so many places and on so many postseason teams. I can tell you right now, if I was playing today, I would wait to find out where Cabrera was going, and I would sign with that team.
Dribble, by the way, retires Tejada for out number 2. So Tejada 0 for 2. And there's Orlando Cabrera, 2-time Gold Glove Award winner as shortstop. And of course, very familiar with October baseball.
Yes, I mean, it seems every time you look up, he's playing in the postseason.
There's a number 8 hitter for Bruce Bochy, Chris Stewart, catcher, who was walked intentionally in the second inning with a 1-0 count. Is it hard to the shortstop? There is Asdrubal Cabrera, scoops it up, and a perfect 1-2-3 inning for Justin Masterson as we continue scoreless here in San Francisco. By Sprint. Another gorgeous day here on the shores of the San Francisco Bay. Jose Mota, Mitch Williams with you. You're on Fox Saturday Baseball as Orlando Cabrera takes a breaking ball down from Matt Cain. And we're talking about Orlando Cabrera, Mitch, and a guy that really knows what it's like to play under pressure and take teams out there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and he's a guy that's sought after when you get to the postseason. You get to the trade deadline, and there's teams that are always experiencing injuries in their infield that need a veteran guy that can fill a gap. Cabrera fits that bill.
I remember seeing where has he been? Well, Garcia Parra's out. He goes to Boston. They win. Goes to the Angels. Look what happens. White Sox. Ozzie. Get OC in there. And a trade to Minnesota from Oakland. Until he lands in October baseball again last season for Dusty Baker and his Reds. Hit to the center field. There's Torres, who covered a lot of ground. And there's one out. I remember talking to Dusty Baker about that. And in spring training saying, Dusty, congratulations, you are going to postseason. He goes, what do you say that? I said, because you just signed a shortstop that knows what it's like to play there.
Absolutely. And that's the thing about it. There's certain guys that play their entire career and never reach a postseason. I work with a guy, Dan Plesac, 18 years in the big leagues, never played a postseason game.
Orlando Cabrera has a reputation of being a guy that keeps things loose and doesn't take it very seriously. He knows how to play the game. He manages the game well. As Hanahan is snagged by Cain himself. There's two down. What a nice play by the pitcher.
Again, athleticism at the pitcher's position. We're going to take another look at this play by Matt Cain and feeling your position as a pitcher. He's in a pretty good position to do so, but I know when I pitched, I had no chance of catching anything.
That is now 14 in a row retired by Matt Cain. Austin Kern swings at a breaking ball up in the zone. He missed it. Maybe not where he wanted that pitch, but it worked.
Anytime you throw a first pitch breaking ball, hitters do not want to hit an off-speed pitch first pitch. They're looking fastball.
He was late on that one, 0-2.
And now Matt Cain has him in a position to where he can do anything. He can double up with his fastball, elevate it. He can bounce his breaking ball. This is what being ahead and putting pressure on hitters is all about. Drop down.
How about that?
I've never seen Matt Cain do that, drop down on a breaking ball. But I bet he elevates right here. He showed him a breaking ball away.
And he misses his spot with that one. And he'll hit Kearns, who'll go over to
He tried to drop down with a fastball.
Now it's time for a DirecTV game break Wednesday in the CONCACAF Gold Cup semifinal. Scoreless tie in the 77th minute. USA's Freddie Adu passes to Landon Donovan, who found Clint Dempsey with a far post cross that was tapped in to score the only goal of the match against Panama. The win advances the U.S. to the Gold Cup final, where they will face Mexico tonight on Fox Soccer. That's some exciting stuff right there on CONCACAF. That is USA's fourth consecutive trip to the Gold Cup final. Third straight in which they will face Mexico. Always a great matchup.
And you know that hit by pitch right there is a big deal. For people at home that don't think it's a big deal, it gives the Indians the opportunity to get Masterson out of the way pretty much this inning.
Stays alive, just taps this one foul. And you make a very good point. The object is to have the pitcher involved in leading off the following inning.
Absolutely. And Matt Cain had Austin Kearns buried in the count 0-2, dropped down, threw him a slider, which is not a bad pitch, but I've never seen him drop down at all. And then he tried to drop down, throw him a fastball, and he hit him with it.
This is upstairs, 1-2 to Masterson. Came into this ball game 1 for 9 career with the bat. Burns at first, and there's strike 3. So 15 of the last 16 retired by Matt Cain. No score. By Sprint. All together now. It's been a great pitching matchup here. 0-0 score. 2 hits for Cleveland. They both came in the first inning for the first 2 batters. 3 hits allowed by Justin Masterson. As his counterpart Matt Cain will make a trip to the plate. It'll be Cain, Andres Torres, and Emmanuel Burris for the Giants here in the 5th.
And this is exactly what I was speaking to the previous inning. You got the pitcher leading off, which is what would have happened for the Indians had Cain not hit Austin Kearns.
This is what they've done on the mound, and it's been remarkable. Big swing by Cain. He misses it. Struck out looking at his first at bat.
I mean, you look at these numbers, both pitchers doing an outstanding job. Masterson's walked 2. Struck out 3. Cain, no walks, 5 punch outs. Matt Cain is basically pitching like Matt Cain pitches, period. And the sad part is he's getting the run support he typically gets.
Is that how Matt Cain swings too?
Well, I'm telling you right now,
See that?
this is Justin Masterson cannot be a comfortable at bat for any right-handed hitter, but for a pitcher that may get 60 at bats a year, I promise you he's not a comfortable at bat.
Yeah, Cain does a good job holding off on that one. 2-2. He's getting a good look here at Masterson, who has walked 2, one of them intentionally. As Andres Torres waits on deck. 11 quality starts for Justin Masterson. Only a 5-5 record. And he puts away Cain for out number 1. Next week on Fox Saturday Baseball, interleague play continues as rivals go head-to-head with bragging rights on the line as the Yankees battle the Mets. These Indians square off against the Reds, or the White Sox take on the Cubs. Next week's telecast on Fox Saturday Baseball begins at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area. There's no question, Mitch, what interleague has done attendance-wise. Can't argue.
No.
It's been tremendous.
I mean, fans absolutely love it. There's some people that don't like it, me being one of them. I'm not a big fan of it, but you cannot argue with the numbers, and the game is about the fans. So there's no way you can take it away from him.
Coming into this season, there have been an 11% increase in interleague games attendance-wise. And we saw a series in Cleveland recently against the Pittsburgh Pirates where they sold over 100,000 tickets.
And to your point, it's a great thing for the game. I'm an old school guy, and I think the World Series ought to be a National League team and an American League team that haven't seen each other at all throughout the year.
Mitch, you are way too young
I know.
to be an old school guy.
I'm not that young.
2-2 to Torres, who's 0 for 2 himself. And he fouls it off just above us. I like this strategy. I do like American League ball clubs being challenged. Going into these ballparks. Oh, wait a minute. That's a good arm right there.
Good arm. Did that get thrown down? Or
yes. Wow. He opened the gate, got himself a good spot, and threw the ball back. Wow. Sign him up now. Watch. Let me get comfortable here. Wind up.
Why? Look at his dad. He's like, son.
Torres goes down. And a dad is missing a baseball. There's 2 down.
His dad knows that he can probably come to baseball the rest of his life and never get another opportunity to get a foul ball.
That ball's got to go back to that child. Find that baseball. Yeah, so nonchalantly, it's like getting lost in the crowd right now. We saw a flying ball. How many times do we see a flying ball over our heads?
Twice.
Down.
Going in both directions.
Here's Burris trying to get something here with 2 outs for the Giants. Hits it hard, right side. Felt nice play to his right, off balance throw. Beautiful play, beautiful defense, and now 7 in a row retired by Justin Masterson. Look at that arm.
It's a great play by the second baseman right there.
Chevrolet, proud to support youth baseball across the country. At McCovey Cove under the sunshine here in San Francisco. And a scoreless ballgame moving on to the top of the 6th inning. 0-0, only 5 hits overall. As Michael Brantley makes his way to home plate against Matt Cain. He shows bunt and he takes strike 1.
Good old-fashioned pitcher's duel, which we're seeing so much of this year around the league. And a lot of teams going to small ball.
Good foul right side. And the Giants are used to this. So it's allowing base hits to Brantley himself, and then Court Phelps leading off the game.
You look at that. The first two batters he faced, he gave up knocks to, and since they're 0 for 15. That tells me Matt Cain made an adjustment.
As you talk about adjustments, talking to Matt Cain yesterday, he says, I've learned mainly from Dave Righetti on stepping off the pedal sometimes, but also I've learned when to step on it and go for it. And he goes, that is the one thing that I've learned through the years of watching or listening about. It's not full bore all the time.
And Rags is one of those guys that can teach that because he was a starter and a closer.
Hit hard inside the first base line. It looks like extra bases. Brantley is going for two. Here's a throw from Scherholz. He's got a leadoff double here in the 6th inning.
Good job of Panda right there, backing that throw up.
An excellent at bat by Brantley.
You look at that as Brantley gets a ball on the inner half of the plate, turns on it, and this is what this team has done. They've been able to manufacture runs, getting leadoff guys on. And I played against his father, Mickey. And his father was a good little ball player, and now Michael, he's turned into the same, probably a little better than his dad was.
And well, Manny Acta, his manager, likes. He says he knows how to play the game, has a tremendous aptitude for the game of baseball. Phelps rolls over, and he does a job. And you talk about little things that need to be done.
That's right.
That should be in the box score somewhere.
Exactly. And you take a guy that you got a guy on second base. Your job, you got a guy on second, nobody out. There is no way in the world you should leave that batter's box and that guy still be on second base. I don't care if you got to bunt it, hit it, whatever you got to do, he better be on third when your at-bat's finished. That's a great job right there by Phelps.
Ward Phelps knew exactly what he needed to do. And does it for his ball club. Infield will be in against Asdrubal Cabrera. 0 for 2 today. And if Cleveland needs something from their middle of the lineup, it's right now, this minute.
And something you and I were talking about, Jose, before the game. I think I've seen more squeezes and safety squeezes this year in the game than I've seen in my entire career in this game, because there's been such a premium on one-run innings.
You're not kidding. I mean, there's a lot of good young pitching in the big leagues. As Manny Acta would like to see his number 3 hitter come through here. Man at third, 1 out. Rolls it right side. Huff goes to his right. He goes to the second baseman. Nice play. Defense gets it done. Aubrey Huff showing some tremendous wingspan on that one. And there's 2 down.
That's a great job of picking each other up. Burris realizing he can't reach the ball, that Huff is going to get it. He continues on to first base to where Aubrey Huff can make the flip to him instead of having to make the flip back to Cain. Very, very good play right there all the way around.
Here's another thing. Some ball clubs do have a contact play where it puts more pressure on the defense. Cleveland does not. And my question to you is, with a contact play, does he score?
I don't believe so. I believe in that situation, in a contact play situation, Aubrey Huff would have thrown him out.
Santana with a 2-0 count, and Santana came through last night with a big 2-run double for the Indians, hitting from the right side, but also struggled on the field playing first base last night. Hits it hard, and this is foul.
Well, for all you kids at home, when you're in a 2-0 count, that's exactly what you're supposed to do with a 2-0 pitch. You better hit it hard and either keep it fair or hit it hard foul. You don't ever get jammed or get beat on a ball on the inner third in a 2-0 count.
Nice job by Hunter Wendelstedt, right on it. He's right back in there. Back him off the plate, 3-1. You know who Carlos Santana reminds me of is a former teammate of both you and me is Ruben Sierra, and the way Santana loads up with that front leg.
Yeah, a little bit. And Ruben was a notorious bad ball hitter. And see, that right there is a cut fastball in a 3-1 count where Santana's out in front of this pitch. Actually, that's a split. That's not a cut fastball. That's just a really hard split.
Did not want to challenge him. He walks in first and third. Now with 2 outs. The 4 greatest moments in MLB All-Star game history are going head-to-head to determine which is the most memorable of all time. Go to MLB.com/moments to fill out your bracket for your favorite midsummer classics and tune in to the 2011 MLB All-Star Game on Tuesday, July 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific here on Fox to find out who won. And Mitch, there are some tremendous moments right now.
Oh, yeah, there's some great moments. Carl Hubble punching out 5 straight Hall of Famers.
In the American League, we got Ted Williams with a 1941 walk-off home run. Cal Ripken's 2001 Swan Song home run. We talk about Carl Hubble in 1934, but also 1955 Stan Musial's Midsummer Magic. All on Fox.
And right now, Matt Cain's ahead 0-1 against Grady Sizemore in this situation. I'm not giving him a whole lot to hit. That's a great job right there. Call him off, Matt.
And Huff does it again with a glove. So Aubrey Huff busy over there at first base as 2 more are stranded. No score. Welcome back to San Francisco as Pablo Sandoval steps up. Let's hear from Sounds of the Game. It's Mark DeRosa today.
Panda's due for a jack. Isn't he? He's Cody Ross. He's living a dream. He got hot for a week and everyone loves him. He's living a dream. You know, pants high, feeling the flow. And people are going to say 20 years from now, you know how you get a Tommy John? They got to go in and get a Mark DeRosa.
Unbelievable.
DeRosa currently on the disabled list with a torn tendon in his left wrist. But think about the importance he could have in this lineup right now.
Yeah, if they could get him back, he would definitely add an offensive threat in that lineup.
And Ken Rosenthal, you have more on Mr. Mark DeRosa.
Jose, you heard his good humor there, but actually he's quite frustrated. Signed a 2-year, $12 million contract with the Giants before the 2010 season and really has barely played due to his wrist troubles. He told me yesterday, I want to play or go home. I'm tired of rehabbing. But at the same time, he says, hey, I don't consider myself old at 36. I just had a really bad injury.
What a productive player and versatile player.
And you look at something like that, a wrist injury.
Sandoval has it to the warning track. Trapped down there by Michael Brantley. A nice running catch for out number 1. Sandoval now 1 for 3. And you know, talk about a guy like DeRosa who will do so much for you. Clutch hitter, play different positions, strong man.
Oh, yeah.
And great understanding of what we talk about here a lot. Hitting with men in scoring position or with men on base.
Right. I mean, there's guys that are baseball savvy. Mark DeRosa is definitely one of those guys. But when you start talking about wrist injuries, these are injuries that linger. They're not something that go away in a 15-day stint on the DL. You're talking about a wrist injury that's going to last 6 months. And for him, I can understand his frustration. Signing the 2-year, $12 million deal, you don't want to sit. You want to produce.
Here's a Giants ball club that, as we know, has been totally just decimated by so many injuries. They lost their second baseman. They lost their catcher. They've had guys come in and out of that disabled list. And they're still only a half a game out in the National League West. So a testament to how well Bruce Bochy knows how to move the pieces around with his personnel.
Well, you have to. In today's game, you have to know you're going to go through injuries. And as we look at this list of injuries current, Buster Posey, Freddie Sanchez, those two guys right there, I think are the most important. Freddie is a tremendous handler of the bat, moving runners. DeRosa, Brandon Belt, Jonathan Sanchez just put on there today, Mike Fontenot. But, I mean, and then the list on the right previously. I mean, that's a lot of guys to miss time for your team.
You mentioned Jonathan Sanchez. He goes on the disabled list after starting last night, and Barry Zito is a guy who will take his spot in the rotation. Zito had been battling a right foot injury. As Hubbs drives it the other way, another test for Brownlee. He's going back, but he makes a catch over the shoulder for out number 2. And in this ballpark, it's not going anywhere.
No, and as I said in my scouting report at the beginning of the game, pitch to the big part of the ballpark there, and that's a fastball away. Aubrey Huff is a pull hitter. Aubrey's not going to hit a lot of balls out of the opposite field. You watch his swing. He does a good job of staying on that. But in order for Aubrey Huff to hit the ball out of left field, he's got to be late on a fastball in the middle of the plate.
There has been 28 home runs here in this ballpark. And consider the Giants. They come into this game having hit 48 home runs total, 14 here at home. There's Cody Ross. Hasn't even count 1-1. He's got a walk and a fly out to shortstop. And Masterson continues to hit his spots. Once again, 1-2.
And the sad part for both these pitchers, it's indicative of what they've pitched throughout this year. Both of them throwing extremely well, and they're sitting in a 0-0 game. And one of them's going to get to their pitch count before the other one.
You got it. Well, I know that you know, with the Giants, run support has been an issue, but consider Justin Masterson. Run support average coming into today's start, 2.91.
Yeah, you're talking about an American League team. If you're only getting 2.91 runs of support a game.
Another ball hit hard, but we still no score here in San Francisco. We'll return back after this break for your local station. All presented by Sprint. Glad you can join us. There's been a great pitching duel here between Justin Masterson and Matt Cain. As Orlando Cabrera swings and misses. Orlando Cabrera playing third base today. 0 for 2. It'll be Cabrera, Hanahan, and Austin Kearns. And Mitch, because of the National League situation and the rules here in this ballpark, here's when you start thinking about pinch hitters. As a nice scooping play to his left by Burris. And he throws out Cabrera for out number 1. Is that not all connected? Good pitching, throwing strikes with good defense?
Absolutely. And both of them have done a tremendous job of keeping the ball down, going up when they need to. But you look at the number of ground ball outs. Tremendous play, as you see here, by Burris in the hole at second base and getting to his feet and making a good throw to Aubrey Huff. You got to have good defense behind you if you're going to be successful as a pitcher at this level.
That was a great read by Burris on that inside out swing by Orlando Cabrera. Yeah, Jack Hanahan, who's 0 for 2, steps in.
There's just no way to pull the trigger on that pitch. That's that swing back sinker that he throws right at the left-handed hitter's front hip. It looks like it's going to be inside, and then at the last minute sinks back over the inside corner of the plate.
And the Indians have had opportunities against Cain in the very first inning. And another Indian goes down for out number 2. You go back to that first inning, Mitch. First and second, nobody out. They couldn't get the runner past second base.
And the sad part is you're going to look back on that if you're Manny Acta and go, I don't want to bunt as Drupal Cabrera, my 3-hole hitter in that situation. But if you look back at it, maybe they should have and played for 1 run.
Here's Austin Kearns. He hit the ball hard. His first at bat lined out to center field and got hit by a pitch in the 5th. No score, top of the 7th inning already. As Matt Cain has been under control.
And there you see it. You got activity. Joe Smith throwing in Indians bullpen.
There's a strike for Kearns.
Because should Kearns hit a double, say, in this situation, I believe that Manny Acta will pinch hit.
Not with that swing.
No, he was horribly fooled on a breaking ball right there.
Matt Cain showing the ability to take something even more off of that breaking ball. Here's a 2-2. Breaks his bat.
Be a good play here by Miguel. Very good.
Tejada took his time and got him. Matt Cain, outstanding. Sponsored by DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV. And by Burger King, now offering $1 frozen drinks. And for the summer, what a great idea, Mitch.
Yes, it is.
And you talk about summer, look at that view in McCovey Cove.
There's not a much prettier view in all of baseball than that picture right there.
It is outstanding all around this ballpark. As Justin Masterson delivers, here's a ball hit hard to left center field. Sizemore not going to get to it. Shearholtz on its way to second. He's not stopping, but he's stumbling.
Oh.
He will be
my goodness.
changed between second and third as Hanahan with a great assist gets him out.
Wow.
What a break for the Indians.
He had a stand-up triple, no question right there. We're looking at him right here out of the box. I want to see where he hit the misstep around second base. Oh, he got the inside part of the bag and got his footwork messed up. And you kind of wonder if he'd have just got up and continued on to third. I think Asdrubal Cabrera was kind of conceding the fact that it was a stand-up triple.
There's no doubt the way he turned around, there was no urgency until Hanahan spoke up, and now it goes a double for Shearholtz, but an 8-6-3 putout. Tejada with an 0-1 count. He fouls it to the left side.
You see him hit the inside. He hits the inside of the second base bag with his left foot and then ends up kicking his right foot with his left foot. And if you're Justin Masterson, you're thinking you need to go look for walnuts after the game because that's pretty lucky.
That is a tough break there for Shearholtz, who gets his second double of the game. And what a position they would have been in. Here's Tejada, who wasted an opportunity in the second inning with 2 aboard, struck out. Chopper, right side, Phelps, good coverage. Wide throw, and Tejada smartly slides around it, and he gets in. That's a good veteran move by Miguel.
Yeah, and in that situation, the young Phelps at second base has got to understand who is running right there. It's Miguel Tejada. He has the opportunity to set his feet and throw this ball. You can see Miguel's pretty much given it up that he's going to be out. If young Cord Phelps had gotten his feet set and made a strong throw, the play's not even close at first.
That'll be an error on the second baseman, Phelps. Tejada at first. Here's Stewart. And they look for action. No action at first base.
And that right there would have been 1-0 Giants had Shearholtz not tripped in between second and third base.
Tejada has stolen 3 bases in 5 attempts. And Stewart shows bunt, trying to bunt for a base hit. He takes ball 2.
I'm not sure how excited Bruce Bochy is about right now having Stewart bunt with the pitcher on deck.
Well, he knows too there's some pieces that could be moved in that bench.
He does. Bochy does have his bullpen up. It looks like Flores up and warming up in the bullpen.
He's consulting with Dave Righetti, his pitching coach. Javier Lopez warms up for the Giants. Tony Sipp warms up for the Indians. A couple of lefties. There's a 3-1, and the question is, starting or not, Miguel Tejada here with 3-1.
I would say with Stewart hitting under 200 that no, he would not start it.
Tejada goes.
I would be wrong.
And he grounds it foul. It's not about right or wrong. It's so much about where your offense is at that particular time and how the game is flowing.
And you know what, Jose, I'm a big believer in pressuring defenses. I'm a believer in hit and run. I'm a believer in bunting. and forcing the defense to make plays. How many times over the course of your career did you see a sacrifice bunt lead to a big inning because of an error?
There he goes again, and his sky to the shortstop as Drew Ball battling the sun, but he makes a catch for out number 2, and Tejada gets safely back to first base. There's so many things, Mitch, that happen early in a game, obviously. Now it's time for the Just for Men Keep Your Edge Spotlight.
And this right here is pitchers hitting spots. See Justin Masterson striking guys out. Matt Cain right here. Location, location, location. Fastball, changeup. Done a great job. Both pitchers done an outstanding job today locating the baseball.
And just as Matt Cain and Justin Masterson give the Giants and Indians the edge, you too can keep your edge with Just for Men mustache and beard. There's the edge right there. 0 runs, 11 punch-outs between the two. Only 3 walks and only 7 hits combined.
I can say I'm a Just for Men customer.
There's a high chopper. How will Phelps not hold it? He is having a tough inning here. The rookie second baseman, his second error of the inning.
And for everyone at home to think that's just an easy one-hop play, that is a ball that has a ton of top spin on it. And watch this ball jump after the first hop. It's got a ton of top spin on it, and that first bounce actually picks up speed. Pops right out of the pocket of his glove.
Maniacta makes his way to the mound, as Masterson has been outstanding, but he will leave 2 men aboard thanks to the lack of defense. There's a new pitcher coming in as Masterson leaves. We'll be back here on Fox. Highly dependable lefty Tony Sipp on the mound now. He inherits 2 runners with 2 outs in the 7th. He delivers ball 1 to Andres Torres. Torres 0 for 3. 3 for 4 last night. Sipp, Mitch, as you know, a big reason why they have an outstanding bullpen core.
Absolutely. Maniacta has 2 left-handers and 2 right-handers down in that pen with sub-2 ERAs. And that's a great thing. And right now, Torres is in a situation that was my key to the game for the Giants. A big 2-out hit.
He takes a big swing, not looking for a single there. 1-1 count. Tony Sipp, what a story he is. Lefties are 3 for 39 against him this year. Gives him a 0.77 average. Righties only 188 against Tony Sipp.
And you look at where he sets. He sets all the way over to the left-hand side of the rubber. And
he got that corner. 1-2 to Torres.
He got pretty good giddy up on his fastball. And now Torres has to go into protect mode. He's got to bust out the emergency hack and fight off tough pitches and just look to put the ball in play.
Torres against lefties this season, 0.91. That's why Sipp is in. Down and in. Good job by Carlos Santana. Even count now. There's 2 aboard. 2 errors by their second baseman, Cord Phelps.
And the biggest thing Sipp can do right now for that youngster standing out on second base is get this out and not have these 2 errors cost the Cleveland Indians.
Let's not forget how this all started. Schuerholz stumbling. Full count now on Torres, and waiting on deck is Emmanuel Burris. Cain at first, Tejada at second.
It would not surprise me if Torres does reach base via walk, if Bruce Bochy was to use Pat Burrell to pinch hit for Burris, because Burrell is known to have a good eye.
Foul back, good swing by Torres. He was right on that one.
Very good job of protecting the plate right there.
So Bill Hall available. There's Pat Burrell. And this is nothing unusual for the San Francisco Giants playing close ball games. They have won 21 of 32 one-run games this season.
That's better than any team in Major League Baseball, and they're accustomed to playing it. They know they're not going to score a lot, but they don't give up a lot.
Staying alive is Torres.
Torres' only job is to make Sipp throw as many pitches as possible, because with each pitch comes the chance that that pitcher is going to make the mistake.
One thing I do notice is in center field, Grady Sizemore, to me, is way too deep here.
He's deep and shaded well to right center.
Another 3-2. He walks him. So they're going to be loaded for the Giants. And let's go down to Ken Rosenthal on the Giants' knack for winning these games.
Jose, you guys talked about their great record in one-run games. Where you talk to scouts, executives, the Giants themselves, and they'll tell you, hey, this team has, since the World Series, developed a special chemistry, a special bond in close games, a special knack for winning. I talked to one GM this morning, guys, and he said it's almost like muscle memory with the Giants. They've got the second worst offense in the National League, and yet they find a way.
Yes, they do. Can consider last season, Mitch, the Giants bullpen won 31 games.
Yep.
This season, their bullpen has already won 18 games.
Well, up until a week or so ago, Brian Wilson was tied for the team lead in wins with 5.
And Bruce Bochy will stay with Emmanuel Burns with the bases loaded here. 2 outs, scoreless game. Burns is 0 for 3. Now hitting from the right side. Swings and misses.
Good breaking ball from Sipp right there. And that's what we talk about, hitters not wanting to hit a first pitch breaking ball. That's why. Burris is sitting dead red in that situation, hoping to get a fastball and jump at first pitch because he's coming off a walk. Sipp just walked the previous, or didn't, yeah, just walked the previous hitter. And you're thinking, oh, a balk.
So there's a balk.
Balk and
And
Bob.
Bob Davidson is indicating to Miguel Tejada, you score. And we're talking to Ken Rosenthal about the knack and a feel for games like this. They come in so many ways for the Giants as they take the lead 1-0.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Buck and Bob Davidson gets a lot of discredit a lot of the time. But he has a keen eye for that stuff, and Sip definitely flinched.
1-0 San Francisco, second and third, 2 outs. This was Scott right side, foul territory, chasing his Hanahan, and he will not get it. And the wind playing some tricks for Hanahan, usually a third baseman, as he goes into foul territory. So Tejada scores on the balk.
And now Burris needs to go into the same mode that Torres went into and just protect. You don't have to hit it hard. You just have to put it in play in this situation.
Torres now at second with great speed. The pitcher Cain at third. 0-2. Right behind the second baseman. Coming in is Kearns. He's got it under control. And the Giants take advantage of the miscues by the Indians. And they take the lead 1-0 here in the seventh. Who has been outstanding, having allowed only 3 hits to the Tribe, and a balk. A couple of errors have given the Giants a 1-0 lead here going into the top of the 8th inning. And Travis Hafner will lead off. He will pinch hit for Sip.
And trust me, Matt Cain does not care that run scored on a balk.
He delivers strike one to Travis Hafner, and Manny Acta, the manager for the Indians, just saying how sad it is that my best offensive weapon right now, I can't play him because of the Interleague and the National League. Quickly 0-2 is Hafner.
And you see, he started him away, and then Stewart set up in, and Cain didn't quite get that ball in, but Hafner was a little late on it. And pinch hitting, folks, for those of you at home, is not an easy task. To get up off that bench cold.
Fouls it straight back. Hafner was telling me yesterday, I said, well, you have a routine where you're a designated hitter. In the American League games, he goes, yeah, I go hit in the cage, I'll go hit off the tee, I'll ride the bike. He goes, but to sit for 7 or 8 innings, he goes, I don't know what I'm going to do.
And you can see him. He's up there stretching his quads and trying to get loose. Goes back inside right there.
One thing, too, Mitch, he is a great story for Cleveland. What a great guy.
Oh, yeah.
And to see him healthy again is great to see how productive he's been and how connected he is to their success offensively.
Well, there's no question they're a much better team with him.
That man can hit. He's got a single to lead off the 8th here for the Indians, and a much-needed break there for Cleveland.
And we're going to look at the pitch sequence. You see, Cain's going to start him off away. They tried to go in, but their idea throughout the whole at bat was to go in on him, and that's a little confusing to me. I would think they would try and get him out away, but they stayed in, and you see, down and in, left-handed hitters are noted for being able to drop the head of the bat on the ball down and in.
Chris Boucher will make a change as Cain heads back with a 1-0 lead. It'll be up to their bullpen. Bullpen, a very solid one, by the way, but 7+ innings, 4 hits. He's responsible for the man at first base as his teammate Javier Lopez delivers strike 1.
And you look at Javier Lopez's numbers this year: 36 games, 3-1 record, 12 holds, 2.54 ERA. You look at his walk to strikeout ratio; it's not that great, but what his job is to get left-handers out.
And he will not get this one out as Brantley singles to the right side, and the Indians putting a charge here later in the game.
And that's the first hit he's allowed to a left-hander since Skip Schumacher on May 31st. They tried to go inside with a fastball there. And again, you see the left-handers, that's their happy zone. Down and in is where they're happy. They want that ball down on the inner third of the plate so they can just drop the head of the bat on it.
Well, Bradley has done his job at the top of the order. 3 for 4 this afternoon as Cord Phelps is up, and he's got one thing in mind, is to make up for a couple of costly errors.
He's going to get a bunt down here because Manny Acta's club leads the majors in hitting with runners in scoring position.
He does his job as Lopez fields his position. The sacrifice 1-4, so the Indians now have men at second and third with only 1 out. Well, the young man clears his mind, and there's no doubt he knows how to square it up and deaden the ball, Mitch.
Yeah, and it's a lost art. It's frustrating to me at the big league level that more guys don't look more comfortable bunting the baseball. I've never understood how hard. See, if you watch right here, all you're doing is catching the ball with the bat. You see a lot of guys poke at it. That right there was Spalding guidebook on how to bunt.
Corners in, middle infield playing back. Hit hard to Pablo Sandoval. He'll come home. And they have Everett, the pinch runner, in the rundown. He is out. Nice play by the Panda.
And that right there is why I don't like the contact play. Everett's got to know Panda's playing up. The ball's hit right to him. I mean, he bobbled it and still had him by 30 feet.
He threw a laser to his catcher, Stewart.
Matt Cain trying to act not too excited down there, but knowing inside he's thrilled to death. And now Javi Lopez has got to make a good set of pitches here to a very good young hitter.
Carlos Santana, a 2-run double, hitting from this side last night. And this one gets by Stewart, and somebody here got crushed up, I believe. The runners advance to second and third now with 2 outs.
Now it'll be interesting to me to see if Bochy will put him on. You watch this pitch right here from Javier Lopez. He sets up outside, and that's a crossfire right there. Granted, it's a pass ball. Stewart's got to catch that ball. It's in the air. It's actually over the plate. It should have been called a strike. But when you miss that bad, the umpire's not going to call it. And they are going to go ahead and put him on.
So first base open. And the next batter is lefty Grady Sizemore, who is 0 for 3. And for Bruce Bochy, it makes sense, even though the runners are much closer to home plate. Potential tie run at third. Potential go-ahead run at second.
But I think what Bruce Bochy's feeling is here is that Javier Lopez just does not give up a lot of hits to left-handers. I mean, we saw one there.
Four greatest moments in MLB All-Star Game history are going head-to-head to determine which is the most memorable of all time. Go to MLB.com/moments to fill out your brackets for your favorite Midsummer Classics and tune in to the 2011 MLB All-Star Game on Tuesday, July 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific here on Fox to find out who won. And there are some moments. There's Carl Hubbell, there's Cal Ripken, there's Ted Williams. There's Stan Musial.
There's 4 great ones.
Big swing by Sizemore. A lot of anxious eyes in that Giants dugout. You talk about needing somebody to come on right now and come through as Grady Sizemore, hitting 5th today.
And Javier Lopez is looking to make pitches. Now he's up in the count. He can actually expand the zone a little bit because you know Sizemore wants to hit in this situation. Good take right there.
1-1.
That's a really good take by Sizemore. You watch this. This ball covers the plate almost all the way there and then breaks off late. That's a very good take by Grady Sizemore.
Against lefties, Sizemore hitting only .136 this season. Hugging the line. Grabbed by Huff.
Great job.
He's been busy, and the Indians leave the bases loaded. by Michelin, a better way forward, and by Viagra. And 42,130 fans, another sellout, 36 sellout for the season for the Giants, and that is now 46 in a row since last season. Mitch, outstanding the support the fans get here for the Giants.
They've got a fun team to watch. They've got a team here in San Francisco now that plays 27 outs every night, and if you're a fan of the game, you get your money's worth watching this club.
And watching this guy right here. The beard is getting ready.
I wonder if he has to stretch his beard along with his shoulder and elbow now.
Most likely, knowing him. And a new pitcher for the Indians. Hard-throwing Vinny Pistano makes his way to the mound. Panda swings and misses, and of course thinking hard about insurance run. 1-0 ball game. Sandoval, Huff, and Cody Ross here in the 8th for Bruce Bochy.
And just another guy out of Manny Acta's bullpen with a sub-2 ERA that's done a great job, Vinny Pistano. 29 innings, 37 punch-outs.
He is 26 years old, out of Newport Beach, California. One and two on Sandoval. Hits it hard, right side. It's going to stay in the air for Kearns for out number one. Let's go to our DirecTV break. As Matt Kemp is called out on strikes. The game between the Angels and the Dodgers. As Kemp retrieves back, he says too many words for home plate umpire Chris Conroy, and he is ejected as the Angels lead that ball game 2-1 in interleague baseball in LA.
Matt Kemp having a great year for the Dodgers, but I don't believe he had much of an argument on that pitch.
We're talking MVP type year with Matt Kemp. So Sandoval retired. He is Aubrey Huff.
And Aubrey Huff up here in this situation is looking to do one thing: find something on the inner third of the plate and get the ball wet.
Huff has been real busy with his glove. Made some nice plays out there for his pitchers at first base. He rolls it to the right side. Phelps picks it up, and there's two down. Help make a baseball moment kids will never forget. Go to ChevyBaseball.com to support youth baseball. Plus, enter to win one of 4 trips to the 2011 MLB All-Star Game and the keys to a new Chevrolet. That's a nice deal. I'll talk about youth. He's got a baseball, though, now. He threw the ball before on a foul ball. He threw it back into the stands below. But look how comfortable he looks with that baseball now.
Well, the Giants took him a baseball and found out that he watches a lot of soccer games. And in soccer, if the ball comes in the stands, you have to give it back. So I think he was following soccer rules and tried to give it back.
He still has his baseball shirt, though. As Ross fouls it back. It's one of those moments in baseball you will never forget. We were talking about soccer, USA, Mexico this weekend.
As I watched Brian Wilson get loose down the third baseline, I hated warming up in bullpens that were on the field like this. I almost one night, I was warming up in Atlanta in old Fulton County Stadium and threw a fastball over the catcher's head, and it hit the cement in the dugout right in front of Don Zimmer's face. As we see Vinny Pistano discard Cody Ross.
Down goes Ross, and here comes a beer. 1-0 Giants. Here's Brian Wilson delivering ball 1 to Orlando Cabrera. Wilson led the major league with 48 saves last season and also tied the Giants' single season record. There's a liner caught on the air by Burks, and there's one out.
I think the thing over the last 2 years that has made him so special and so dominant, it's not the beard. I mean, that's a great thing. He has a lot of fun with it. It's learning the cutter and commanding the cutter that has made him so dominant at the back end of games.
How good is that bullpen?
Oh, their bullpen's ridiculously good.
22 saves for Wilson. As he gets set, the hitter Hanahan backs up. He's over 3. 1-0 Giants. Painting. 0-1.
And this is what Brian Wilson's good at. You know, he's got a left-handed hitter right here that where can he hurt me? In or third. So he's going to stay away from him. A base hit's not going to hurt him. So you stay away from where you can get hurt with a home run, and that's on the inner third. And paint away. If you give up a base hit, you give up a base hit, but you're not going to give up a game time and home run.
Tries a back door. He misses outside. 2-1 for Hanahan.
And that's a pitch in the postseason, Jose, that was so dominant for him against the Philadelphia Phillies and their left-handed hitters, was that backdoor cutter.
As Travis Buck, recently recalled from AAA, is on deck. Another left-handed hitter.
I guess his plane got here
just in time to see Brian Wilson.
Gee, thanks, Skip.
Hit hard. Tejada. Snow cone. It doesn't matter. There's 2 down. I mean, that beard is about to start growing into his chest.
He's gonna have to shave it to separate his chest hair from his facial hair. But you talk about the fan base here, and they've gotten some characters here in San Francisco, and Wilson and the Freak, they have to cheer for. And it's as goofy as it may sound, it's certain things like that that make the game fun.
One and one to Travis Buck, who was recently sent out to AAA and recalled a couple of days later due to the injury to Shin So-Chu. Deep center field. Torres on his horse. The track stars. Got it! Tough sky, but he gets it done. Brian Wilson save number 23, and the Giants win this one 1-0.
Big ballpark. Pitch to the big part of the park. Torres, great center fielder, can go get him with the best of them. 3 up, 3 down, save 23. You look at this play by Torres, that takes a ton of concentration. He's in a full sprint, then goes into a back pedal, fighting the sun. And San Francisco is never an easy play. You cannot take your eye off the ball because of the wind.
You talk about the wind, the high sky here in the Bay Area. They've been so problematic through the years for infielders and outfielders, especially in these day games, cloudless day games. So the Giants with 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. Cleveland wasted many opportunities, and they are shut out for the 9th time this season. 5 hits on 2 very costly errors for the Indians. Brian Wilson made no secret out of throwing strikes. And Mitch, you know situations like this, how much it means when you're on the mound in close situations like this for your ball club.
Well, absolutely. As a closer, when you fight, your lineup fights and battles and scratches and manages to scratch out 1 run in the 7th inning, and that run's got to stand up, you know as a closer, it's very disheartening if you come in and blow that game. So he's been great. Absolutely great in that role.
Matt Cain gets his 7th win. Justin Masterson again suffers a loss. He has not won a ball game since April 26th. As the Giants technically back to first place in the NL West. And the Indians, who came in first place, have now